Hey, welcome back to another installment of our StewMac kit build. Today we are going to, well, actually, I'm not going to lie to you. What I did is I taped this neck up and I was like, all right, let's just show them how to paint. And I decided to pull all the tape off and do it again. So today we are going to tape up our neck. I'll show you if we need to tape anything on the body. Then we're going to actually do some painting and get our base coat for what we're looking for done in the paint booth. And keep going from there. We are getting really close to putting this thing together. We're getting really close to seeing colors and all that cool stuff. So, again, this video, we're going to tape everything we need to tape. We're going to put our primer on, which we're going to do a black primer. There's a reason for that. You're going to see me a day later, probably a different outfit. I hope so. And then what we're going to be doing is putting our actual paint on. Then you'll probably see me a couple days later where we're doing our actual finish coat sprays. So that is going to try to be compiled in one full episode. I hope it works out that way. Let's get to that intro. Here we are with a neck that's ready to go, and it's ready to get painted. I have decided that the only thing I want to paint on this neck is actually going to be the face of the headstock. I want to do an oil finish, very matte oil finish on the back, and even on this little beveled edge we have. And I realize that a lot of people might not tape stuff the same way I tape things and things like that. So I kind of wanted to show, especially with the beveled edge, how I go about taping things. Because there's a few techniques out there that are good and bad and so on. So I'll show you on one portion of it. I won't make you watch the whole thing. But if we just start right here where this big beveled edge is, when I put my tape on, you can see I apply it pretty heavily. Okay. And there's a couple ways to do this. I'm going to show you the easier of the two techniques right away. So if I wanted tape only on the top of the headstock, which isn't the case, what I can do is actually use some sandpaper here. I'm just going to grab some right here. So this is about 220 grit. And what I'm going to do is actually sand off the edges just like this. Okay, and I can do that all the way around this entire beveled edge. And we can see that this is actually creating a pretty darn nice line there for us. But that's not what we want, right? We want to paint the top and not the sides. So we're just going to do this in the opposite way. We don't want paint on the sides. We're going to go ahead and apply our tape to the sides. I'm going to start with the top here. Just going to put a piece of tape going along it. Again, I press this a lot. I really don't want this tape going anywhere. Really don't want it going anywhere. And now that I have that there, I can use my same technique. And we have that perfect tape line. So that's what we're going to go for. We're going to try to tape this thing up. Tape it up perfectly. Perfection matters. Again, not going to make you watch the whole thing. So because we're taping, or because we're only painting the top of the headstock, you're just going to be tape this down to about here. The back of the neck, all that we're going to just have taped very quickly, exposing only this for when we go into the paint room and we do our primer coat. We'll see you on the other side. Hey, so we're back. One thing that I mentioned before was that I was going to tape this off and leave this natural, but then I remembered the color changing. While I'm using paint that is color changing. And I think that it would be really cool because I think this would be a different color with the same paint because of the color changing light thing with this edge. So if, let's say the guitar looks purple here, it might look blue or black or something like that underneath because of the color changing stuff that I'm using. So I'm actually going to paint the beveled edge and the top, I decided. Very excited about that. You can see everything else is taped off. Now, as far as the body, I mentioned I'll talk to you guys about taping stuff off. I'm not going to tape anything off. Why is that? Well, because there's a few things that I don't really need to worry about. What I'm going to do is actually use the StewMac arm system to paint. So I'm going to end up screwing this right in here in the neck pocket. It's going to cover up most of that neck pocket. I know right now we already have a very, very tight fit on the neck pocket. We're going to have to do some sanding and stuff like that. So I'm going to spray this whole guitar. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to take an air compressor. I'm going to blast all this gunk out the inside of it, and I'm going to wipe everything down before I paint it. I usually use about a 50-50 mix of like alcohol and water. The reason why the alcohol is in there is just to help everything evaporate quicker. Just to make sure there's no dust or anything on here before we start painting. When we are in the booth, I'll do that. I probably won't show that on camera just because I just told you about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just screw this on. I'm just going to use normal neck plate screws. We'll put this on here, and then the next time you'll see me, we'll be in the paint booth. See you soon. Welcome to the paint booth. Here I'm applying the primer. Please note that I use the same process when I'm applying the paint as well as the primer. I'm taking nice, easy strokes across the guitar. If you don't get full coverage on the first coat, it's totally fine. I ended up applying 3 coats of primer and then 3 coats of the paint on this one. You are seeing this in real time. Notice that it doesn't take long between the lines. A lot of time people hear the advice that you need to take your time while painting, and that's totally true, but that applies between the coats more than during the coats. You don't want to rush the drying or the sanding that's required, especially on your finishing coat. Now you are seeing me apply the top clear coat with a spray can. This is a 2K poly gloss finish. The can is about 8 inches away at the moment, and I'm getting decent coverage with this. At this distance, you will get bigger coverage, but may also get what is called orange peel, and it makes the finish look just like an orange peel. Again, notice how I'm not dragging the can slowly across. I don't want to build up too much product and cause any drips or runs. Once I have 2 or 3 coats applied at this distance, you'll notice that I'm going to bring the can in much closer, while I'm still not going too slow. This is something I do as a seasoned sprayer, as it allows for a smoother finish, allowing for less sanding. You can do this, but you do run the risk of causing any drips or runs. So there you have it, folks. Taking your time on painting is a big deal, especially in between coats. We don't want to drag the can along everything too slowly. Nice even coats, slight overlap, and just patience in between your coats is going to give you the best possible outlook. That's it for this video on for painting. The next time you see us, we're going to be sanding down this body and giving it that beautiful factory looking finish. Until next time, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll see you real soon. Thanks.